Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Moto. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what it's like to commute on a Yamaha TW200. So I commute fairly regularly on the T-Dubs that I own. This is a 2021 TW200, and I am going to tell you about what I like and what I don't like. And yeah, let's go for a little ride. We're here in my local CVS parking lot, because why not? We're underground, just doing some exploring, but gotta head over to my girlfriend's house, and figured why not talk about commuting and what it's like on the little T-Dubs. Let's see what's over here real quick. Could drive this thing right into the building. Look at that, freaking. And it's open. I'm not gonna do that, but that'll be funny. All right, let's roll. Go slow around this corner. All right, we'll go this way. So, as I said, I commute on the T-Dubs pretty regularly. I have a F-150, I definitely take that to work a good amount, but you know, I try and get out as much as possible on the T-Dubs and even the Ducati when I can, because I love riding. And here in Connecticut / New York, I don't always get the best weather. Oh wow, I'm surprised I got that light so quickly. Nice. Normally that light takes forever. But yeah, where I live, you know, we get all 4 seasons, so there's going to be days where it's beautiful, and then there's going to be days where it's snowing and it's, you know, 5 degrees out. So we'll go this way. So I've owned this bike for just under a year, and I've put just about 1,500 miles on it. So I figured it would be a good time to give you guys my impressions on what it's like to commute on the T-Dubs. Now, I don't commute every day to work on my motorcycles, but I do try to commute on them as much as possible. One, because it just saves gas in my truck, and two, they're just so cheap and they're so fun to get around. You can kind of whip around town and have a blast on these. So I definitely commute on my Ducati, but I actually prefer commuting on the TW200. One of the reasons why is just how cheap it is to fill up in gas, and you know, how flickable and light it is on these back roads. The Ducati has, you know, gobs of power and gobs of torque, but there's something fun about taking a light bike like the TW200 and just ripping it around these little back roads, and you know, it puts a big smile on your face, especially on like a Friday after work. Leaning the bike over a little bit. With that big tire on the rear, you can actually lean it over surprisingly well. We'll try and hit some curvy roads, and I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But the roads that I commute on to work are generally 40-mile-an-hour roads. Occasionally they're a little bit faster. So the TW200 feels right at home on roads like that, as long as I'm not trying to push it to its limits. Here's another curve right here. That's fun. I am open wide right now, but it's okay. What is the saying? It's better to ride a slow bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike slow, and I definitely think that's true on a bike like this. Here's a nice corner here. It's so light, and it makes it so easy to just whip around. You know, I can really get on this thing and toss and turn it. Up hills like this, I'm still full throttle right now, and you can tell it's slightly bogging down, but not too bad. So it's maintaining the 40-45 mile an hour speed. So like I said, I commute on roads that are 40 mile an hour to a little bit higher and a little bit slower, depending on which route I take to work. And this bike handles them really well. It feels right at home on roads like this. If you try and push it, you know, kind of like I am now, you can start to feel its limitations. You know, you can start to feel the throttle maxing out, and it's not really giving you much more as far as torque or power. But at the end of the day, that's not really what this bike is for. And you know, if you're commuting on this bike, you're probably not going to be pushing it to its limits every day. It's just, you know, it's not what it's meant for. But the reason why I choose to commute on the T-Dubs more than I do on my Ducati is, one, the weight, but two, just how cheap it is. You know, my Ducati is so expensive to insure, but also it sucks down gas, and this bike is just a blast. You can get around 75 to 90 miles depending on how you ride it, and it costs like $2 or $3 to fill up, even with gas prices rising, excuse me, and it's an absolute blast. Well, actually, let's check out this road. There's nobody behind me. We'll lock the back brake. Oh boy, oh, I gave it a little too much there. We'll lock the back brake a little bit. All right, let's check out this road over here. Because sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here, but they've been working on this road like crazy. I actually took a picture of the T-dubs at this road probably like 6 months ago, and I'm curious to see what progress has been made, if they're completely done. They are. Okay, so this is all new. This fence is totally new. Wow, look at this. The water comes right up over here. Should we stop and take a picture? There's nobody here. Yeah, we'll stop and take a picture. This is cool. Turning radius. All right, put this bad girl into neutral, shut her off real quick, take out my phone. Oh, I hear someone coming. We'll wait for them. All right, that lady passed. Try and get some good pictures. I don't have my camera with me today, but that's okay. Cool. Hopefully one of those is a good shot. It's hot today. I'm just wearing my sweatshirt. I need to get like a padded sweatshirt or something, because on these hotter days I really hate riding with my like heavy jackets on. And don't get me wrong, I know they're safer, but man, it's not always the best when it's 90 degrees out. I'm just trying to think. We'll go, there's a car coming, so we'll go this way. Give her the beans. And I know the T-dubs is slow, but when you're commuting on it, it's really not bad. It can get out of traffic and, you know, get in front of traffic if you're at a red light or something like that. And if you've watched my previous video in the city, it's actually really good in the city. I was surprised. When I shot that video, I was really surprised with just how good the T-dubs did. You know, the weight is a big factor in that. This bike weighs 278 pounds, I believe, so... Well, what are you in the middle of the road? You're a dead squirrel. Oh no, you're a live squirrel. Oh boy, okay. Ugh. Anyway, so as I was saying, with the weight being so light, and I know I'm gonna keep going back to the weight, but it really is a big factor when commuting. It's so easy to go from stop to go. You know, it's easy to go from red light to red light in the city, which like I said, I posted a video the other week about that, so make sure to check it out. But also on these back roads, tipping the bike over is, you know, I can just do it with one hand, and like I'm almost like scared to do that just because of how fast it leans over. But it's really a blast. And on roads like this where there's not a lot of people, you can kind of just lay back, cruise, you know. Unfortunately for me, the roads that I travel on to work do tend to have a good amount of people, especially when I leave work. And so it can kind of be annoying because you always have these guys in cars that are, you know, up your ass. They're trying to go 55 miles an hour in a 40. So you got to watch out for people like that, and also people that can't stay in their lane. So I'm on my way to my girlfriend's house right now. I'm trying to beat out this rain that's coming. But, you know, I figured I'd take the bike out and go for a little ride and also shoot a video. I apologize for all you subscribers that were hoping to see a video last week. I filmed a video and I realized that what I did in the video wasn't correct. I was actually filming my air filter. I was cleaning it and re-oiling it. And I did something that I guess really isn't recommended, and I guess might as well tell you guys. But we'll go this way. But what I did was I cleaned the air filter. I used a little bit of Dawn dish soap, which that's fine. I've read a lot of reviews saying that that's no problem at all, and you can certainly do that. And the reason I cleaned it with Dawn dish soap is because I did not have the proper little, you know, solvent kit you can get at motorsport stores. They usually come with a little spray solvent that cleans all the oil and debris out, and then it also comes with a spray on oil. And because I didn't have that kit, I used the Dawn dish soap, which worked out really well. It got all the debris and oil off of the filter. But when I went to re-oil the filter, I was actually referencing a old Yamaha TW200's owner's manual. I don't remember exactly what year. I think it was like 2002 or something. And in the owner's manual, it recommended using the engine oil that you use in your Yamaha and just putting a little bit of that onto the filter to, you know, help the debris and stuff stick. That's why you put oil on your air filters. And apparently I did the whole video. It came out really well, and I just did a little more research afterwards because I wasn't 100% sure, and I try and put out videos that are going to be helpful. Nice stop, guy. It's a stop sign over there, but okay. But like I was saying, I try and put out videos that are helpful and stuff that's going to be useful, and I never want to, you know, lead you guys in the wrong direction. So that's why I ended up not posting it, because I later found out that apparently now a lot of people are against the whole engine oil in your air filter. And I guess the reason is engine oil is gonna heat up and become a little more of like a liquidy instead of like a gooey oil, and so it's gonna tend to seep more and potentially leak into your intake and potentially into your engine. And so obviously there's problems that come with that. So I ended up just scrapping the whole video, and hopefully next week when I get the right kit, I'll remake it for you guys, so you guys will have a better understanding of how to clean your air filter. Just want to check out in here real quick. There's a little like park in here. Just want to see. Little gravel. Can't go in there with my T-dubs, unfortunately, but Babcock Preserve, cool. Oh, all right. Little splashy splash. So back to the commuting topic. If you plan on commuting with this bike on the highway, that is definitely something that is the downside of the T-dubs. It's not a highway bike, and I don't recommend doing that. The last couple nights I've actually been sleeping over at my girlfriend's house, and the only way I can get to work from her house in a timely manner, at least, is by taking the parkway. And the parkway speed limit is 50 miles an hour, but everyone knows that nobody follows those rules. So I did end up taking the bike on the parkway, and it was only 2 exits, but it was something that I probably wouldn't do again. It was, you know, I was getting blown past, and the T-dubs was, you could feel it shaking, you could feel the vibrations. Even now I'm doing 50, and it's really, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it's vibrating a good amount. It's just, it's not meant to go that speed. You don't want to put extra wear on the engine and potentially, you know, lessen the life of it. Ooh, it's wet over here. Must have rained a little bit. And there's probably a couple of modifications you can do to the TW200 that will help it become a better commuter bike. Some of the things that I would recommend if you plan on commuting on this bike, I would probably put a new seats, just because after an hour or so on the bike, depending on how long your commute is at least, it tends to hurt my lower back. And one thing that has definitely helped is the handlebars slash risers. So I did that modification, and that definitely helps with its comfort. And also the larger foot pegs down over here, that you know, that really helps distribute your weight on the bike, and or not on the bike, on the foot pegs, and it gives a more comfortable riding position. But yeah, I would definitely get a seat. That would probably be the first thing if I was planning on, you know, solely commuting on this bike as my main mode of transportation. I'd definitely spend the money and get the seat. I haven't gotten a seat yet, just because they are kind of expensive. And you know, most of the rides that I do are within 30 minutes or so. Occasionally I'll go out, you know, I'll go north more and ride some back roads, but for the most part, traveling to work and stuff, it's only like a 15-20 minute ride. If you live in the city, I definitely would recommend this bike as a commuter. It's small, nimble, and light, which is perfect characteristics in my opinion for a city bike. And if you live out in the countryside, you know, you gotta just have to think to yourself what kind of roads you're gonna be riding on. If the roads are gonna be 35-40 miles an hour, I would say, yeah, this is a great bike for commuting. If the roads are gonna be any sort of highways, or, you know, any roads that are over like 45 or 50, then I'd start to consider potentially moving to something a little bit bigger as far as engine goes. And I know that there's certain modifications you can do, like adding you know, better gearing and stuff in the rear to help with the bike revving out at higher speeds. But unfortunately with the TW200, there's really only so much you can do to get power out of this engine. It is fairly limited in the engine modification department. You can definitely put a jet kit on. My friend Rob put a jet kit on his bike, and he also has the DG exhaust with a new intake. And to be quite honest, you know, we've ridden plenty of places, and we really haven't noticed too much of a speed difference between the two bikes. I don't know if that's anything to do with rider weight. I know a lot of you guys, I'm sure, would say that, but Rob and I don't know his exact weight, but I weigh about 170, 180, depending on what I eat, and I would only assume that Rob weighs just about the same as I do. So I'm not really sure why that is. I don't know if it's just because the engine is, you know, you can only get so much power out of it. And look, this is a big hill, and I'm bogging down a lot, so I'm gonna drop down 2 gears there, picking it back up. So I guess that's another thing. If there are a lot of hills in your area, maybe stay away from the T-dubs. But I don't know, you know, I love the T-dubs. I find it a great bike to commute on. It's simple, it's bare bones. You know, there's not a whole lot that can go wrong on it. There's not a whole lot you have to worry about. And with simple maintenance, you can have this as a commuting bike for a really long time. Alright guys and girls, well, I hope today's video was helpful in your decision making on whether or not you want to buy a TW200 for commuting. Obviously it's very situational, but any bike has its ups and downs, and in my opinion, I think the TW200 would make a pretty good commuting bike. The only other thing I would add, and this is just from experience of riding a lot of different bikes, is no matter what bike you use to commute, you're always going to want some sort of luggage. And I carry a backpack most of the time, but I also have a little Wolfman Enduro tank bag that sits right on the top of the tank here. As this guy puts his hazards on. But it sits right on the top of the tank, and it allows me to just bring a little extra things. You know, if I need to run to the store and get something small, I can put it in it. And they also make tail bags for more storage. But that's obviously one big downside to commuting on a motorcycle. It doesn't matter what bike it is obviously you're going to be limited in storage capacity. But if you plan ahead and get yourself some nice little storage compartments or storage luggage bags or whatever, you know, I think it would be a really nice addition to the bike, and it's something that you're going to be happy that you have when you need it. Alright guys and girls, well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below or DM me on Instagram. If you are into the TW200 or are considering purchasing a TW200, then consider subscribing, because I make new videos on this bike just about every week, and I'm pretty active with my followers / subscribers, and I try and answer everyone's questions. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, and ride safe.